We have an audience-first approach that we believe in. We believe in it because it is the ability to offer true addressability across every channel as well as measurement. We do this through activating data, CRM data, high-value audiences across every single channel. That's display, video, audio, digital out-of-home, CTV, and addressable TV. This is truly the ability to consistently message to a consumer across all of the channels where they're interacting with messaging. That is critical because we want to be storytellers. We want to tell them a story for our brands, and we need to have the ability to frequency cap so that we ensure they have a positive experience with that brand's messaging across channels.
Tell us practically about how that really works. How do you really activate data sets across all of these different media in a way that's consistent and joined up? Isn't that incredibly complex?
It's less complex than you would think because you have LiveRamp, which is an accepted and almost ubiquitous identity graph. Therefore, CRM data goes through LiveRamp into our platform, then gets syndicated out of our platform through LiveRamp into all of those different tech platforms.
And talk us through, what are your most sophisticated clients doing with this capability?
Many are utilizing their own data in order to re-engage lapsed consumers or to increase the frequency of purchase from existing consumers. And of course, the ability to utilize data to build a lookalike model in order to extend the reach of an audience and find more that look like the best consumers, but then oftentimes to suppress those best consumers so that you're controlling the messaging to them. And I think that the most important aspect of addressable is that we have the ability to control frequency. And that's critical because as consumers, we want a good experience. And as a brand, we want to ensure that those consumers feel positively about our messaging and our brand. Therefore, controlling for frequency, especially frequency across multiple channels, is critical. Consumers have not been educated about the value exchange. Consumers need to understand the value exchange equals a free internet. And it's incumbent on us as an industry to educate consumers about why we collect data, how we collect data, how we protect that data, and then that value exchange that they get as a result of it, meaning relevant advertising.
And do you think strongly, but do you believe the industry needs to do more to promote that message?
I do. I believe that a full-fledged education is key, especially today as legislation like CCPA arrives and consumers read that legislation without truly being aware, again, of that value exchange and what they're getting as the exchange for their data.
Now, lots of people in the industry are, on the one hand, very positive about the way in which regulatory frameworks and policy about privacy and consent are evolving, but they're also quite anxious about some aspects of these changes. Where do you sit on this spectrum? Do you share their anxiety?
I share both. I'm excited that we're in a position where we are going to offer consumers transparency and that we can ensure that we're protecting their data. The anxiety comes up on two fronts. One, that the legislators and ultimately the voting population does not necessarily understand what we do and why we do it. Therefore, they're easily swayed on this negative, evil aspect of our business, which obviously is not accurate. The second is that multiple states legislating on privacy is not tenable for an industry or for companies to comply with. We can't expect that a company can operate efficiently and effectively and to comply with 50 different policies. So my belief is that we strongly need a single voice and one policy that governs privacy across the United States.
Obviously, for your business, one of the most exciting developments has been the proliferation of very high quality, interesting data sets and sources that you can use to enhance the advertising experiences that your clients are putting into market. It also creates challenges. what steps do you take to try and audit the quality of data? How do you know that the data you're licensing or that your clients are applying to advertising is accurate, reliable, etc.?
We are fortunate that the foundation, the backbone of the data that we utilize today is Acxiom data. So we are confident that the data that we utilize from Acxiom is ethically sourced, is privacy compliant, and because Acxiom is so strong in the identification space, that we are actually messaging the people that we intend to message. So we are in a good position from that standpoint. It is a difficult task to source all of the different data companies within this space and understand their methodologies, their scoring, their performance, and we need to ensure that if we're going to work with one of them, that we have done our homework, that we understand and believe in that methodology, that the data is ethically sourced, and we have to collect benchmarks so that we understand historically performance of those data sets so that we can continue to utilize them or not utilize them in the future.